Back to another video. And today's video is going to be about DC statehood, how it is possibly becoming more likely, in today's day. So I'm sorry, I haven't been posting for a couple days now. I've just been very busy lately, thinking of video ideas, but I do have many more videos coming up. I'll probably be posting a lot more than I am right now, because I just want to make content for you guys, and I know my videos are not that long. If you guys haven't yet, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, leave a like down below, subscribe, click that notification bell to receive notifications when I post videos, which will be daily. And comment down below if you guys would like to continue this kind of, for me to continue this kind of political content. I don't know if it's something that you guys really want me to post, or if you guys want me to change any details or go over something or make an election prediction. Comment down below. I'd like to know. Okay, let's get into the video. So, for many years now, DC, Democrats are now supporting a bill in the House of Representatives and Senate, which will have to pass the Washington, D.C. Admission Act, which will give, D.C. statehood. We don't know exactly what the name of the new state is going to be, but the bill previously passed in Congress. It was not given a vote in the Senate. So in 2020, it passed the Senate, the House of Representatives, because of the Democratic control. But it didn't. It went to the Senate, but it didn't pass the Senate. Now I think that it could be closer than anything. Why do I think that? Well, because Democrats now have control of the Senate. And, the only Republican chance is Joe Manchin, Kristen Sinema voting, with them. So, let's just go over to, a Senate map. And let's look at how D.C. statehood could, definitely benefit the Democratic Party. And that's why the Democratic Party has been pushing D.C. statehood, because it will benefit the Democratic Party. So currently it's 50-50. But, let's just say I add Maryland. I'll make this 3. And then I'll characterize it. 52 for Democrats and 50 for Republicans. And at this point, there will be 101 seats. So not 101, 102. So 51 will be majority. So instead of Democrats having the tie, they will gain one more seat in D.C. And definitely the 2 senators of Washington, D.C. will be Democrats. Republicans have no chance, having at least a senator in D.C. And why do I think that? Because if you look at D.C.'s margin of victory, throughout, all the history, I really don't have to pull that up right now, but D.C. has always been a solid Democratic state. D.C. never, D.C. has, all D.C. has to elect, but D.C. has never been within a likely lead or tilt margin. It's always been more than 15%, for a margin of victory for the Democratic Party. D.C. has never been a state under 15%, and even if it was, that's still not a state that, the Republican Party is able to pick up. So this would definitely benefit the Democratic Party. And this even means if Arizona goes like Kristen Sinema, or for example, if we're voting, let's just say, you're voting to support or oppose that. Before we look at supporting and opposing that, we're going to look at, for example, Kristen Sinema. Let's just say we have a new, Republicans flip a seat. Kristen Sinema loses her seat in Arizona, or Mark Kelly loses his seat in Arizona. Then, it's still a tie, and Kamala Harris will break that tie. And still, 51 will be majority if D.C. does officially become a state. In order to become a state, like we said, it passed the House of Representatives, but it didn't pass the Senate. And they have to pass both the House of Representatives and the Senate in order to be passed, and for D.C. to actually become a state. Even though it passed the House of Representatives, it needs to pass the Senate as well. And the reason the Democrats have their best chance right now is because the Senate is in their hands, the House is in their hands, and the presidency is in their hands. So right now, if the Democrats, implement a bill to ask for DC statehood, it will most likely pass. It will definitely most likely pass because of, how they have control. Now, here's the thing about supporting and opposing DC statehood. DC statehood is going to be something that is obviously going to benefit the Democratic Party, not benefiting the Republican Party at all in DC statehood, because the margin of victory was 90% for Hillary Clinton and more than 90% for Joe Biden in Washington, D.C. It's a liberal Democratic state. It also added one district in the House of Representatives. It's more beneficial in the Senate, a lot more, because in the House of Representatives they go by district. D.C. doesn't have a lot of people just because it's very small. So it really doesn't have more than it's not going to have more than one district. So it definitely benefits, the Democratic Party more in the Senate than it does in the House, because in the Senate every state has 2 senators, while in the House of Representatives every state has a different amount of representatives and districts, and DC will not have more than one. So if DC goes red, which is not going to happen, then it'll definitely benefit the Democratic Party. So let's look at people who are going to favor, who are support, or who are going to oppose. So I'm going to put supporting in red and opposing in blue. Oh, I'm sorry. Support in blue and opposing in red, because obviously, most likely, all Republicans will oppose DC statehood. And a lot of people are actually unsure about that. So we're going to go for unsure. But, for now, a lot of senators are actually opposing this. So obviously 50 Republican senators, every single Republican senator is opposing, this bill, because they know, every Republican senator knows that it's not going to benefit them, whether they are a Trump-like or traditional Republican. They know that if this bill was passed, it's not going to benefit them. Democrats are going to have a bigger control. The Senate and the House of Representatives will be harder to fight and take on. And in general, Republicans don't want that. Whatever kind of Republican you are, Republicans are not going to support that. So, it's very important that we look and we see, some Democrats might actually support that. Actually, some Democrats might oppose that. That's because, it's basically a split, something that could go either way when it comes to Republicans and Democrats. Republicans are going to oppose it, but Democrats, some Democrats might support it. So it's really a matter of just watching exactly what happens. So it's 50-50. Now, there are a few unsure senators, Kristen Sinema is unsure, Joe Manchin is unsure. But this is a way where we're not going to look at that. But if obviously, like I said, 50-50 is going to give the Democrats majority, because Vice President Kamala Harris will break that tie. So it's really up to Joe Manchin, Kristen Sinema, some senators who don't know if they're going to support or oppose. In order for them to actually pass this bill, in order for them to pass this bill, Joe Manchin, all the Democrats have to support it. And in order to stop the bill from passing, to oppose the bill, then not only all Republican senators will need to, but one Democratic senator or more. So Kristen Sinema, or if Joe Manchin happens to if Joe Manchin happens to do it, then it's opposed. Joe Manchin, votes for that, then, it's a 50-50, and Vice President Kamala Harris will break the tie. Now, here's the thing. We don't know if Democrats are going to keep the House in 2022. So really, Democrats don't have much time to figure out, to see when the next race is. Now, we know the House is going to pass, because right now there's a 5, Republicans need 5 Democrats, and there's no way 5, most likely, it's a possibility, but it's probably not going to happen, 5 Democrats voting in favor of DC, not being passed. And most Democrats are actually going to do I don't see one Democrat not doing this, because it's just going to favor Democrats more. Joe Manchin, yeah, Kristen Sinema, yeah, but not many Democrats are going to be doing that, because they know that their party is going to be supported. And they know that Democrats want to pass this because not only taxation but representation, but also because it's going to benefit them. It's going to give them, a bigger majority in the Senate. Even if Republicans pick up Georgia, Democrats still have control. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video about what will happen in DC statehood and why it could benefit the Democratic Party. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.